Hey guys, Brockshield here. In this video, I wanted to share the talent specialization that I use on my Frost Mage Parmenion, who performs the typical Blizzard and other DPS/cleanup operations in the 3-man team that I have that clears out Blackrock depths. So first things first, since Parmenion is a Frost Mage, we'll eventually want to reach the talents like Ice Block and Ice Barrier, which are super useful to have at all times. So for that reason, expect to see a lot of Frost talents picked over the course of this video. We'll start with Elemental Precision, which reduces the chance the opponent can resist your Frost spells by 2%. And this is just basically useful every single time you're casting any spell with Frost, so thus useful period, because you can't do damage if the opponent is resisting you. We'll get back to improved Frostbolt at a later time, it's not relevant right now. For that, the reason being is Parmenion's base ability that he's casting is Blizzard, so Frostbolt isn't really useful, and really neither is Frost Warding, because even though I'm using Ice Armor, the one that I think, I'm using the mana armor that regenerates your mana over the course of the fight, you still just feel that Frost Warding is more useful than any of the other points to get you to the second part of the talent tree. From here, something like Ice Shards, Frostbite, Improved Frost Nova, and Permafrost are all useful. I suppose in order we'll start with Permafrost because it increases the duration of your chill and reduces your target's run speed, which is very useful to stop the mobs from fleeing away, as well as give Brockshield some more room for error if he needs to strafe around the mobs in order to dodge some of the massive incoming damage and reduce the damage that's coming in. In addition to that, speaking of chill effects, the talent Frostbite is very useful as well. For the time being, since we only have 2 points, we'll place them in Ice Shards, which increases our critical strike bonus. The reason I'm going like this, even though we'll eventually wind back to all of these Frost talents, is so that you understand why I'm going in this order. The number 1 talents to buff are those that will help my Blizzard spell. Since Parmenion primarily is only casting Blizzard as you're seeing in the video, utilizing improved Blizzard to reduce their movement speed is very useful because now we've added the chill effect to Blizzard. From there, Cold Snap is also very useful because it will reduce the cooldown of all of our Frost spells from something small such as Frost Nova to big such as Ice Block, and we'll get there in time. Piercing Ice is a must-get talent, and we'll max that out soon because it just increases the base damage of your overall Frost spells by up to 6%. We'll return to that though, as we also need Arctic Reach. We'll need to max this out because we want the range of our Blizzard spell to be at max range, as there's no reason for Parmenion to be any closer than he has to be, as he is quite literally a glass cannon with under 3000 health, so he should not be taking any hits. From here, Frost Channeling is very useful because it reduces the mana cost of your Frost spells as well as your threat generation, and that's really useful because Parmenion is a huge source of threat generation, and so this spell, in combination with Greater Blessing of Salvation, along with Brockshield's improved Righteous Fury, means that the chances of actually pulling aggro off are quite lower, though it honestly can and does still happen because of the fact that the consecration that Brockshield is doing, even with all of his spell power gear, is still approximately only dealing 1/3 of the damage of a Frost Mage that doesn't have comparably any of the same gear. So that just goes to show just how strong Frost Mages are when they specialize correctly, and as a result why it's important to watch their threat generation. From here, we are going to choose Ice Block, which I actually sadly don't use enough when Parmenion is in danger, but Ice Block is a must-have trait, and for the more skilled mages out there who are able to perform some amazing feats with the mage class, I absolutely love their utilization of the Ice Block talent. Now we are going to want to get Ice Barrier, and so we need 9 more points in the Frost Tree, and we'll also want Winter's Chill, because this is a super useful ability which we'll get to in a second. For that reason, let's go ahead and max out Frostbite after we max out Piercing Ice. So we have Frostbite up to 2, and we'll get back to that after we check out Winter's Chill. So this ability is well known to most classic players who have raided, as by maxing out this talent, what it means is that each of the frost damaging spells that Parmenion deals will apply this Winter's Chill effect, which will increase the chance of all of the next and current Blizzard iterations, that they will increase the chance it will critically hit the target by 2% for 15 seconds. And since this will stack up to 5 times, it's as good as reaching 10% for 15 seconds, which means in combination with Ice Shards, I have a 10% extra chance of critical striking the mobs, and then doing 100% more critical strike damage bonus. And all of these things add on to one another, as you see a chance to freeze mobs is going to come here, along with the chance of increasing the critical strike chance against frozen targets, which we'll get to after we select Ice Barrier. So now that we have Winter's Chill, it means we're going to increase our overall output, our damage output. Winter's Chill, of course, as you may already know if you play the game, is used on one raiding mage, so that all the others reap the benefits of this one mage and don't have to pick the talent points. Since I am doing this in the AoE style, I'll need this talent for myself, and then I'll take Ice Barrier, which you see I try and keep on myself at all times, in order to not have those ranged axes those dwarves are throwing reach me and damage the Blizzard cast. With that said, we still have quite a few points left, which is really nice. We are going to want to finish off some of the other abilities in the Frost Tree. From here though, you may note that a lot of other mages go into a lot of different abilities like Arcane Concentration, they'll reach Arcane Mind even, or Presence of Mind for example. And for me, the reason I don't do that is quite simple. If you look at the path up the Arcane Tree, there aren't that many useful abilities that are that would be solely useful in the role that Parmenion is playing, which is basically just to stand there and cast Blizzard. So if you look at what Arcane Concentration says, at max rank it would give me a 10% chance of entering a clear casting state after any damage spell hits, which is great. And clear casting reduces the mana cost of my next damage spell, also great. In and of themselves in a vacuum, these two abilities are exceptional. What it does is it gives Parmenion the flexibility and freedom to cast more and more spells without worrying about expending his mana bar. Now this is a super useful talent for somebody who is playing only a mage and is specializing at an AoE mage style. The reason it isn't as useful for me, I should say, is because most of the fights that you're seeing here are decided quite quickly. The limiting resource is how much damage Brockshield can take, how much healing Daenerys can output. So that means that Brockshield's health bar and stamina, mitigation, armor, etc., along with Daenerys' mana bar plus healing, etc., are the limiting resources. It's very rare, as you see here, for Parmenion to fully expend his mana bar and then not have to use, and to still be out of mana after either Evocation, Mana Ruby, Lay of Lilies, or Mana Potion, or something of the sorts, Dark Rune, anything. And so as a result, I find that limiting my mana usage is not as useful as simply boosting my overall frost damage. So for that reason, the only 2 points that I find are useful is this, the 2 points in Arcane Subtlety, which reduce my target's resistance to all my spells by 10, which will increase the chance my frost spells will hit. And other than that, there really isn't anything for me to chase in this tree, because I want to make Parmenion a full Frost Mage AoE Blizzard Glass Cannon. In order to achieve that, we can then start with the next points here. We'll max out Ice Shards to make sure our critical strike damage bonus is even higher. We'll max out Frostbite, which means our chill effect that Blizzard now adds gives a 15% chance to freeze the target. So you can see now our talents are building off of one another. We'll reduce the cooldown of our Frost Nova spell solely to get this Shatter talent. When we max out Shatter, the critical strike chance of all of our frozen targets, which can now happen because of our improved blizzard, increases by 50%. Now that our critical strike chance is increased against the frozen targets, all the damage bonus increases by 100%. We're doing this all with more base damage, less threat, and more range, as well as an increased duration of our chill effect, so you can see the cumulative nature of the increase of only frost talents as is showing some value and is building in a symbiotic way on itself. From here, there are 7 points left, and I choose to place 3 points in Improved Cone of Cold, as Improved Cone of Cold is useful for cleaning up some of the mobs that are sometimes running away towards the end of the pulls. And then I place the last 4 points in reducing the time of Frostbolt, because that will be useful for me if I'm ever bringing Parmenion into raids or I'm single targeting a boss level monster, so my Frostbolt is nearly the same speed as a max improved Frostbolt talent spec mage. And so this is the 49 and 2 build I'm using here. That is ultimately what I have chosen at this moment for Parmenion in his role. Since I am no master of the mage class, I would be definitely grateful for any of the advice and feedback that you may have that would allow me to better specialize this character and output more overall damage in his role. With that, I want to say thank you for watching. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, as it greatly helps the channel. Light be with you all. Take care, and thanks again.